You don't have to be an advanced pianist to sound amazing. Today I'm going to show you 5 classical pieces that are actually way easier than they sound, so you can impress anyone with less effort. Let's get into it. First piece is the Chopin Prelude in E minor, Opus 28, number 4. This one is a deep, emotional piece that sounds really amazing. It's a piece by Chopin, so this instantly gives you a sort of, let's say, serious pianist vibe. It's also been used in a couple of films, so it's instantly recognizable and very sophisticated. So let's talk about why this piece is easier than it sounds. It's got a super slow tempo, so you're not rushing through anything. Left hand, as you could see, were just simple chords. That are moving down by just very small steps. The right hand melody is easy to read, it's easy to play. The focus of this piece is more on expression. Okay, so it's an easy piece to kind of like sight read, but can you play it in a way that is very touching and expressive? So give this one a try. Here are my 2 pro tips for this piece if you are trying it. It is to use the sustain pedal to create a rich and singing sound. Number 2 is to play with rubato. Play with the push and pull of time. When you sort of like slow down in some parts and you quicken up in some parts, it really adds to the expressive quality of this piece. Piece number 2. Piece number 2 is Arabesque by Burgmüller. This is a fast, bouncy, and energetic piece that actually learns easier than it sounds. It's a fun and playful classical piece that makes you look like you have really great technique. Here are some reasons why this piece is easier than it sounds. Firstly, the right hand is playing a lot of repeated patterns. For example, this pattern. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is played in multiple parts. So you're using the same patterns, but just in different positions. The left hand is just simple chords and very predictable. This piece is all about light finger control, not strength or speed. Here are a couple pro tips if you want to play this piece. I recommend you to first start slow, really sync up the hands. Let the hands be very comfortable with where it comes in before you speed it up. Tip number 2 is to use a light bouncy touch so that it feels very easy. Piece number 3. Piece number 3 is Schubert's Waltz in B minor. This piece sounds elegant, sophisticated, and romantic. I have many students that tell me they come and learn piano because they really love the feeling of a waltz. And I think personally this one is a really good one to start. It's got this classical waltz feel. It makes you feel like perhaps you're in a ballroom. So why is this piece easier than it sounds? Firstly, the right hand melody stays roughly mostly in a 1 octave range. So we're not talking about huge ranges that's sort of very difficult to think about positions. Everything is roughly contained in the handspan. Number 2, left hand follows a very typical and very predictable waltz pattern. Bass, chord, chord, bass, chord, chord. Unlike some of the harder waltzes out there, such as Chopin waltzes, this one is simpler in nature, okay? We're talking about more sort of simple diatonic chords that are easy to predict and easy to learn. Pro tip for you if you are learning this piece. Number 1 is to use some rubato, okay? Just like Prelude in E minor, a bit of push and a bit of pull with your time makes it sound professional and human-like because you're putting in breath into it. And tip number 2 is think about a waltz dancer when you're playing this. Make it light, make it elegant, and not rushed. Piece number 4. Piece number 4 is Arietta by Grieg. It's dreamy, it's delicate, it's magical. This one's a real hidden gem for me. Okay, so let's say in this video we have 5 pieces. Personally, if I had to say there's one in this video that's just a little bit underrated and very, very breathtaking, a bit of a hidden gem, it's this one. 4th piece, Arietta by Grieg. The melody flows very smoothly like singing. It sounds very, very just emotional and elegant. So why is this one easier than it sounds? Number 1, it's got a super slow tempo. You can take your time to play through it. I think on first glance, the sheet music looks a little bit intimidating, probably because there are 3 flats and there's just a lot of 16th notes in here. But most of the positions are contained very comfortably within the hands, which leads me to my second reason, which is that a lot of the right hand notes are mostly just kind of predictable broken chords after you've worked on this for a while. Number 3, the melody is repetitive. So once you get it, the whole piece feels pretty natural. I still feel surprised whenever I play this piece because this piece sounds like it probably is something like minimum 3, 4, 5 pages long, but it's actually only just 1 page. Couple of pro tips for you. Use the sustain pedal. It really gives this piece that kind of dreamy, fantasy-like nature. Number 2 is to play this one like you're telling a story. Okay, so you really want to pay attention to the dynamics and the phrasing for this one. You want to make sure that the phrase really breathes. Did you hear that? There was a crescendo and then a decrescendo, which gives people this feeling like there is breath in it. Something is breathing. Piece number 5. Number 5 is Tchaikovsky's Sweet Dreams. It contains rich and deep harmonies that make it sound very emotional. This to me sounds like an advanced romantic era piece, but it's actually pretty easy to learn. It has a beautiful lullaby-like feel that makes it sound magical. Let's talk about why this one is easier than it sounds. Number 1, the right-hand melody is very, very slow. You don't need fast fingers, you don't need incredible technique to play this beautiful melody. Number 2, left hand is just filled with simple block chords, even though there are a couple of position changes, but everything feels very, very comfortable for the hand. Especially if you're someone with smaller hands, this one will be a very, very good choice for you. Here are some pro tips for you if you are interested to play Sweet Dreams by Tchaikovsky. Use the pedal wisely in this one to create warmth, but not to blur the notes. Number 2 is to play with dynamics. Let this one really, really breathe. As you could see from this video, I've sort of used this language a couple of times for a couple of pieces. This piece is very similar to a couple of our other pieces where it's not technically difficult to execute. However, the challenge is more in the expressive part about it. Can you play it like someone is singing it, rather than play it all sort of very robotically, with the same dynamics, no phrasing? We don't want to do that. We want to make sure our music sounds like it is human-like, with breath, with ups and downs, and also rubato. So there you have it. These are 5 classical pieces that are actually easier than they sound. Let me know in the comments which one of these 5 are your favorites, and also let me know if you have played any of them. I'm very interested to know. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you would like more piano tips and tutorials. Catch you in the next video.